across the wide plains of central China, where distant mountains fade into pale horizons and rivers move slowly through fertile land, an immense city once stood behind towering walls. Its avenues stretched in perfect lines. Its districts followed a precise order. Massive gates marked the entrances to a carefully planned world. This was Chang'an, and it raises a question that still echoes across the ruins of ancient foundations. How did a city built with such strict order become one of the largest and most powerful urban landscapes of the ancient world? The land surrounding Chang'an helped make such a city possible. The city stood within the broad basin of the Wei River, a region of fertile soil and open plains framed by distant mountain ranges. Rivers flowing through the basin carried water and sediment from the highlands, enriching the land and supporting agriculture across the region. For centuries, this landscape encouraged settlement. Fields spread across the plains, villages formed along riverbanks. Roads gradually connected communities across the basin. Within this environment, Chang'an began to rise. Unlike many ancient cities that expanded gradually and irregularly, Chang'an was shaped by deliberate planning. From its earliest construction, the city followed a strict grid. Straight roads ran north to south and east to west, dividing the city into large rectangular districts. Walls enclosed the entire urban landscape. These massive defensive structures formed a boundary between the ordered city inside and the surrounding plains beyond. Monumental gates punctuated the walls, controlling movement into and out of the city. Inside the walls, wide avenues extended toward the horizon. Districts were arranged with careful precision. Residential areas, markets, administrative zones, and ceremonial spaces each occupied defined sections of the urban grid. From above, the city must have appeared almost geometric. The layout reflected a vision of order imposed upon the landscape. Yet this raises a deeper mystery. How could such a vast city, organized with such precision, function across such an enormous scale, and what forces allowed Chang'an to grow into one of the greatest megacities of the ancient world? As Chang'an expanded within its vast walls, the city revealed a level of urban organization rarely seen in the ancient world. The grid that defined its layout was not a simple pattern of streets. It was the framework for an entire urban system. Wide avenues formed the backbone of the city. These main roads ran straight across the landscape, dividing Chang'an into large rectangular districts, often described as wards. Each ward functioned almost like a small community within the larger city. Walls and gates separated these districts from one another, creating controlled spaces within the greater urban grid. Movement through the city followed clear paths. Major avenues carried travelers and goods across long distances within the walls, while smaller streets branched inward toward residential blocks, workshops, and storage areas. Design allowed the immense population of the city to move through its streets without descending into chaos. Markets formed another vital part of the city's structure. Large commercial districts occupied designated sections of the grid where goods from across the region could be exchanged. These markets were not random clusters of stalls. They were carefully planned spaces, surrounded by walls and entered through controlled gates. Within them, merchants and traders filled the streets with activity. Beyond the markets, residential districts stretched across much of the city. Houses and courtyards stood side by side within the ward walls. Inside these neighborhoods, daily life unfolded in quieter rhythms away from the main avenues. The surrounding landscape played a crucial role in sustaining this immense urban center. Fields beyond the city walls produced grain and other crops that fed the population. Irrigation systems and nearby rivers supported agriculture across the Wei River basin, linking Changan to a broader agricultural network. Roads extending outward from the city gates connected the capital to distant regions. Caravans and travelers moved along these routes, bringing materials, goods, and ideas toward the city. In return, the influence of Chang'an spread outward across vast distances. The city was not only large, it was connected. Yet maintaining such a precisely ordered megacity required constant coordination. And this raises another question. What systems allowed Chang'an to sustain its immense population and carefully structured urban design for generations? As Chang'an reached its greatest scale, the city became more than a place of residence. It functioned as an immense urban landscape where planning, movement, and architecture worked together to maintain order across a vast population. From the city walls, the grid extended inward like a carefully drawn map. Major avenues ran straight across the city from gate to gate. These roads were far wider than ordinary streets, allowing the steady flow of people, carts, and animals through the capital. Smaller streets branched from these avenues and disappeared into the interior of the wards. Inside the wards, daily life unfolded behind enclosed boundaries. Residential courtyards formed the heart of many neighborhoods. Houses were arranged around open spaces that allowed light and air to reach the interior rooms. Wells and drainage systems helped manage water in a city where thousands of households lived close together. Beyond residential districts, monumental architecture shaped the skyline. Large ceremonial structures rose above the surrounding wards. Their elevated platforms and wide courtyards created spaces that felt distinct from the crowded streets of the city. From these heights, the urban grid spread outward across the plain in ordered lines. The structure of Chang'an reflected more than practical planning. The layout expressed a vision of balance between landscape, architecture, and human activity. Straight avenues created clear movement through the city. Gates and ward walls controlled access and circulation. Open plazas and monumental complexes provided focal points within the vast urban network. Outside the walls, the Wei River basin continued to support the city. Agricultural lands across the surrounding plains produced the grain and resources that sustained the population. River routes and roads connected Changan to distant regions, allowing goods to move across long distances. For generations, the city thrived within this carefully designed system. Yet even a city built with such precision depended on forces beyond its walls. Landscapes change, rivers shift, trade routes evolve, and when those forces begin to alter the balance that supports a great city, even the most carefully planned urban landscape can begin to transform. Over time, the immense urban order of Chang'an began to change. The city had been designed with remarkable precision, its avenues aligned, its districts contained within walls, its gates controlling the flow of movement across the landscape. For generations, this structure allowed Chang'an to function as one of the largest cities in the ancient world. But cities do not exist apart from the landscapes around them. The Wei River basin, which had long supported agriculture and settlement, continued to shift through natural cycles. Rivers altered their channels. Agricultural lands expanded and contracted as water patterns changed. Trade routes that once flowed steadily through the city gates could also shift toward other regions. Within the city itself, the enormous scale of the urban grid required constant maintenance. Walls had to be repaired, gates reinforced, streets cleared and rebuilt. Residential districts changed as populations moved within the vast space enclosed by the city's outer defenses. Gradually, parts of the city began to evolve. Some districts remained active centers of life and trade. Others grew quieter as activity concentrated in different sections of the city. The carefully ordered grid remained visible, but the rhythm of daily life within its wards slowly shifted over time. Yet the structure of Changan endured. Even when populations changed or districts were repurposed, the city's design remained one of the most striking examples of large-scale urban planning in the ancient world. The grid of avenues, the monumental gates, and the massive walls preserved the original vision of order imposed upon the landscape. Today, the ancient foundations of Chang'an rest beneath the modern plains of central China. From above, traces of its vast layout can still be studied. Archaeological remains reveal the outlines of walls, gates, roads, and districts that once formed the framework of an immense megacity. And so the question returns. How did Chang'an become one of the greatest planned cities of the ancient world? Part of the answer lies in the fertile basin that supported life across the region. Another part lies in the extraordinary urban planning that organized the city with such precision. Chang'an was not only large, it was a city built from a vision of order, an urban landscape where geometry, architecture, and environment came together to shape one of the most remarkable megacities of the ancient world. If this exploration of Chang'an's vast grid of streets and gates stayed with you, you may enjoy discovering more ancient cities like this. and a question worth reflecting on. What do you think defined Chang'an more? Its immense size or the remarkable planning that shaped the city itself?